Hey there, Rod from Sports Adventure. How are you going today? It's been a tough week. It's been a tough couple of weeks. There's a load of stuff going on with Corona, and a lot of us are in self-isolation and lockdown and all this stuff. And so our world is changing every single day. It's a moving target. And so sometimes it's hard to keep going and just keep pushing forward. But I think just small steps, one day at a time, and just keep moving. Today, from a Facebook Live, I've got an absolute treat. A good mate of mine has been good enough to give us some of his time, come on for a chat and talk a bit more about his life, his background, and a bit about health and wellness. His name is Nathan Green from CrossFit HiJacked, one of the local CrossFit boxers here in Port Macquarie. And so I'd like to introduce Nathan. Welcome, Nathan.
G'day, Rod. Thanks for the invite, mate.
Mate, thanks very much for your time and for coming along. We've had a few technical difficulties last week and again this morning, but just thought we'd jump on, we record this live, and we can just pop it up later on and go from there. So,
Awesome.
Mate, we'll kick it off. Thanks for your time again. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself, mate?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been the owner-operator of CrossFit HiJacked for 5 years when we opened it up. And before that, I was in the fitness industry since probably 2003 or so, 2003, 2005. Was kind of when I got into that realm. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happened to kind of create that progress to find my passion in helping people to become the strongest version of themselves. And yeah, been doing that full time for the last 5 years at CrossFit HiJacked. So very grateful for that.
Yeah, mate, that's awesome. For me and my, well, we've probably only met a year or so ago. CrossFit was all foreign, all new. I'd heard a bit about it. I had some mates that had done CrossFit in town and in other areas. And so I'd always had an interest in CrossFit. But for me, I was probably a little unsure about it because there's a bit of an idea about CrossFit. It's really hardcore. It's for the really super fit guys, the super strong guys and girls out there, and they do some amazing things. But when I came along to your gym, Nathan, and I was really surprised by what it actually was, and also the people that are there at your gym. Can you tell us a bit more about, obviously, your gym in particular, if you could?
Yeah. So the CrossFit stigma, I guess, or the idea that is created and by CrossFit mostly is of the elite sports person, and kind of the small 1% of CrossFit. And I think it's really hard for people to see past that until they step forward into a CrossFit gym. And obviously, I can speak about our gym, CrossFit HiJacked, and we're really accommodating to every kind of fitness level. And as you would know, we do have the elite CrossFitters there that train super hard, train for sport, and they get in there and they just go hard every day and get it done. And then we've got all the way up to people like my mum that trains there that you know really well, who kind of stepped off, I guess, a sedentary lifestyle, stepped off the couch into the gym because I pushed her in there. And hasn't looked back and lost a hell of a lot of weight. And just the mentality of healthy living is now a part of her life. And that's the kind of the 80%, 90% of the people that we have are like that. So they're really just everyday people looking just to get that little bit better somehow.
No, I think it's a great summary. And you mentioned Kim, your mum. She's the most wonderful person. And when you see Kim in the street, she's not a tall lady. She's a small framed lady, and I've seen her at the gym, and she goes as hard as anyone. And as you said, she's been on a massive journey of transformation for herself from a physical perspective, as well as her own confidence. And Kim and I have had a number of chats at the gym and also outside of the gym, where she was at before, obviously coming to the gym with yourself, and where she's at now. And from what she said, she's a completely different woman. It has turned her world around in a major way.
Yeah, definitely has.
And I think the confidence that she's gained from going to do something like CrossFit and coached by someone like yourself, Nath, and the other great coaches that you have at the gym, and also the support that the other people at the gym offer, which I think is a really important thing as well. And it's that full collaborative approach. People are there, they're all working together, they're all cheering one another on. It's not just someone, and I've been to a couple of gyms before, not a lot. I haven't spent a lot of my life at gyms, but some gyms and some people just kind of work in isolation a bit, doing their own thing on the machine in their corner. Your gym is totally different to that, mate. Can you speak a bit more about that if you could?
Yeah, for sure. So, funny enough, now something that we've always known at our gym is the social connection of our people is what's so important. And a lot of people do know that and they do understand that, but it's never been so prominent until now, where everyone's still training, and we've offered online programs and leased out our equipment and stuff like that, so people can still train. And funny enough, everyone's missing that social connection, which is so important. And it's one of the big reasons why we are successful and why it's such a good space to be in, because we're like a tribe, you know, in the cave, all different jobs, all different backgrounds, all different ages, but we all come together, we train together, and then we kind of separate again. But that hour of connection, or that happy hour of time there is what's so important. And the training is, like, I could say, maybe secondary to that social connection. Because, we get to connect with like-minded good people, and a side effect of that is we're doing it in a cool place, and we're getting stronger and fitter and healthier as we're doing that.
Yeah, so mate, I couldn't agree more. And one of the guys I've met at the gym, he lives out of town, probably no, half an hour, might be an hour's drive away. And he has said to me, he drives past 2 other CrossFit gyms to come to your gym, just because of the environment that you have at HiJacked, and the type of people, the support, and it's a great place to be and a great place to work out. So hats off to you, mate.
Cheers. Thank you. So it's definitely, I'm very grateful for the people that are there, and they are what makes that place so awesome, for sure.
Certainly. Mate, CrossFit itself, and just going back a few years, kicked off around the late 1990s, that sort of thing, and then got a bit more momentum early 2000. Can you explain a little bit more about what CrossFit is for average people like me who may have heard a bit about it, seen a bit on TV, seen a few comps here and there, and the difference between CrossFit and, say, your normal gym with loads of machines and lots of other equipment?
Yeah, for sure. So, like you said, CrossFit, it's fairly old, and I think the biggest thing with CrossFit is it never invented anything. And the CEO of CrossFit, Greg Glassman, he never claimed to kind of invent anything, but what he did do is put fitness into a bit of a methodology to create that very rounded fitness, which was kind of ahead of its time. It wasn't done yet. He defined fitness and how to kind of get there, which is pretty cool. And like I said, it was never anything that was brand new. It was just putting all this stuff together and then kind of coming out with a methodology and an idea on how to become the fittest that you can. And so it's been around for a long time now, and it's evolved through time. It's kind of come into a competition stage where CrossFit seemed to be kind of leaning towards competition, and that's where a lot of its, negative stigma came into everyday people. And then now, funny, it's kind of getting out of that competition stage more so, and showing people that it's just about training at home. It's about 80-year-old people, 90-year-old people learning how to squat properly so they can get off the couch or sit down on the toilet, or do that everyday stuff. And that's what CrossFit's always been about. The idea that you can be an athlete in the gym and function better outside of the gym is the whole purpose of CrossFit. So it's not about standing in front of a mirror and looking a certain way and stuff like that, but it's purely about your functionality of movement. And so what you should be able to do by CrossFitting is kind of jump out of the gym and be able to rock climb reasonably well, or cycle reasonably well, or jog, or whatever it is, because you've got all these kind of skills and abilities to move in all different kind of planes. That's I guess without sounding too technical, but it's really just training to function as a good human outside of the gym.
Yep. Mate, I think your description there is spot on. And for me, as I said, I haven't done a lot of gym work in the past. I started at a small gym in Newcastle off the back of a long-standing illness for myself, and started to understand the benefits of strength training. And to me, in the past, it was something that I wasn't really interested in. I did a lot of hard cardio, which now I know is the totally wrong way to exercise. Started at this small gym, as I said, moved to Port Macquarie, started with another gym before I met Nathan. And I think your suggestion or your description is it just helps you live more comfortably and a better life. And it helps you do everything in everyday life easier. And you mentioned a couple of things there about rock climbing or riding a bike or running. And I can certainly contest to that. I find my whole life becomes a lot easier when you just feel stronger, and your body feels more together, more fit. Obviously, you a bit of lean body mass come in with that as well, if you're keeping an eye on what you eat and things like that. But everything becomes easier, and so that makes you then feel better, and it just flows on from there. So it's a great package. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
For people that haven't had an interest in CrossFit before, haven't started, and I know a number of people that I coach have expressed an interest in CrossFit. I give them a broad overview, and I've certainly passed on Nathan's name. How would you describe CrossFit, or what would someone who's wanting to get started in CrossFit, how should they kick it off, would you suggest, mate?
For sure. So we do kind of a few different things, and depending on the background in training. So someone like yourself, when you came to the gym, you'd already been training, you were fit, you were reasonably strong and ready to kind of go. So you were able to kind of jump into class and just kind of get taught along the way. Sometimes we get people, like I mentioned before, like my mum, who came in and hadn't really been in a gym or doing movement besides walking for the last 25 years or so. So depending on their level, I'll give a different kind of just entry point, a different way in. And what we do is we do a little class called an L plates intro class, and you chuck your learners on, and we go through for an hour and just kind of run through some basic stuff. And what it is, it's a really good time for me to assess your movement in a squat and a push-up and a sit-up, just basic stuff. But from that, it's kind of the foundation of how I can guide you into how to start. Some people come in and they can squat easy, they can do it. It's just like jump into class, you're going to be good to go. Some people come in and they might need a little bit of personal training over the next kind of consecutive weeks, just to kind of get them up to not only a physical level, but more a mental level of their confidence, and they go, you know what, I actually think I can do this. And that's the biggest barrier for most people, is the mindset of do they think they can? Are they able to? Because, like I said, I haven't seen anyone walk into our gym that can't train. And we could talk for hours about plenty of people that are with disabilities or injuries or missing limbs or whatever it is that train and that I have trained. And it really, when you're an able-bodied person, it's like, you got definitely no excuse for sure.
Yeah, mate, that's superb. I think that's a great roundup there. Is there any secrets to CrossFit? And something that that really impressed me was virtually everything you do at CrossFit is graded or is scalable in some way, even down to a rope climb, which I'd seen guys climbing ropes in the past. Obviously, did it when I was a kid, 40 years ago. Haven't touched a rope since, and seeing adults, men and women, climb up ropes to a rafter in a warehouse or a gym like your gym, Nate.
Yeah.
To me, just blew my mind. I thought, man, if I could ever do that, I'd be doing cartwheels. Another thing is handstand push-ups or even handstands against the wall. That to me just blew my mind. But the way that you guys do it, it's graded and you can work up to that. Can you talk a bit about just those basics through to that advanced stuff if you could?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you mentioned, one thing with CrossFit is it's every movement we do is scalable. So, whether you're, like you say, you're doing a handstand, or if you're doing like a pike press, or if you're doing shoulder press, they're all the same kind of thing. And it doesn't matter where you are, you can do either one of those to make you better at getting to that next stage. So, our goal of getting people in there, whether you're able to do that stuff yet or not, it's always about that progression and moving kind of forward towards that thing. So whether it's like you mentioned a handstand push up, and there's certain ways that we can scale it back and put kind of like our knees on a box and do a half a handstand push up, which it's kind of hard to explain over video. And so many people can do that, including my mum. She can do those kind of handstand push-ups, and that goal is to then get strong enough and create that ability to be able to get up into a handstand and stuff like that. I think you said the secret. Is there a secret to CrossFit? I think that there's a couple of things that I think are kind of like if you know it when you first start, it's like something that some people have had to learn, including myself. When I first started, it's just about being patient in your movements. Patience is definitely the goal through CrossFit. The more patient you are, the better you become, the more consistent you are. And those two things together create a good rounded athlete without getting injuries or getting frustrated because you can't get something. So being patient because you don't have super tricky, because you see other people do handstands, like, okay, I want to do that. But being patient to get there is super important.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on there. And something else that I've picked up, having trained with yourself and other trainers at HiJacked, is the importance of good technique and focusing on that good technique, and just, as you said, patience and repetition, and just keep going over and over those things and get the technique right. And I know for me, the technique hasn't been on my radar with any sort of strength training in years gone by, but coming to HiJacked, understanding more about technique, working on my technique, it might take weeks, it might take months to get a particular lift or something to all come together. But when it happens, it's an absolute dream, and it makes everything so much easier. And then your confidence builds, and then you're able to do other more advanced sort of different movements and things like that. And it's a full fist pump moment. It's the greatest thing. And I've had many of those in the short time, coming up to 12 months if you like, that I've been at HiJacked, and it's the greatest confidence booster that I've experienced for a long while. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Very good, mate. A couple more things. I think we could probably talk all day, and
Yeah, definitely.
we get together often. Just for those out there that are listening as well, Nathan and I get together often. We talk about a whole range of health and wellness related items. I think it's rare, and it's a great thing when you find someone, and for me to have found Nathan, that are on the same wavelength as far as how we look after ourselves from a physical strength perspective, as well as nutrition and a lifestyle perspective. So as I said, we get together and we talk for ages. So
Yeah.
what I might ask, we might do this again another time if we could, Nathan, and we'll pick some more topics. This is a great intro, but yeah, we might extend this down the line and we'll do it all again if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate it. Like I said, I love chatting with you, and we could spend hours. So we might as well split it up into watchable sections.
Mate, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. And mate, for those people that are out there, obviously local people, as well as you're now online, and the coronavirus has meant we've had to change the way a lot of us do a lot of things, business and just everyday life. And unfortunately, with all the shutdowns, HiJacked has been one of the gyms that have been forced to close during this period of the virus. But Nathan's now offering a range of services online to his current members through his Facebook page, through YouTube and things like that. So if people are keen to find out a little bit more about CrossFit and HiJacked in particular, mate, how would they go about that?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram, and you can definitely get in contact via either one of those. Send us a message, and we can kind of give you a little bit of a rundown on what we're doing at the moment through this different kind of online period. And also our website, you can jump on that, CrossFitHiJacked.com, or you can grab my number off there and give me a ring, and yeah, we can have a quick chat, and I can definitely just give you a rundown on how to go about jumping on our online stuff if they're keen, and just getting moving, because it's not going to last forever, and we'll be open, and we'll be flowing again, so it's going to be super cool.
Yeah, terrific. Well done, mate. And I agree. This is not going to last forever. Unfortunately, we're in a challenging period at the moment. Let's just work through that, get out the other side, and mate, we'll be back at the gym again before we know it.
Yeah, that's right. Back high-fiving again. I can't wait.
Awesome. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Mate, thank you for your time today. It's been great to have a chat. Look forward to other chats, other video hookups down the line. Thanks again.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it a lot, Rod. Thank you very much for your time.
Good on you, mate. Talk soon. Have a good day.
All right. Cheers. You too.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.